What is up, everyone? Today I am in the mood to talk about... I just watched the episode Everlight last night, and boy oh boy was it surprisingly good. And yes, I did just say boy oh boy. Deal with it. Mythic Quest is on Apple TV Plus and centers around the owner of a successful video game design company and his troubled staff as they struggle to keep their hit game Mythic Quest on top. Created by Rob McElhenney and Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny, and Megan Gans, who has produced and written for shows like Always Sunny, Last Man on Earth, and Community. So, she knows nothing about great comedy, obviously. Here's the deal on this show. I didn't love the first few episodes of season 1. I gave it a good 3-episode window to hook me, but all it did was make me sad because I used to work at a place that was similar in its dysfunction. But I recently saw a review in the New York Times watching email that basically said that season 2, which just dropped, is much better, and that if you want to jump in now, you totally can. But here's the kicker for today. The Times reviewer, TV critic Margaret Lyons said, "The second season is a ton of fun. Brighter, funnier, and more fully realized. Just jump in with the recently released standalone episode Everlight, and then head into season 2. Right off the bat, I was kind of blown away. The episode begins with a sleek animation of the lore from their video game, which is narrated by none other than...
There was once a beautiful kingdom.
Is that Anthony Hopkins?
Not everything was perfect.
Pretty sure that's Anthony
Hopkins.
Hopkins.
There were humans, after all.
Mwah. Such gravitas. The episode tells the story of the company's first day back to work after COVID, and the bosses decide that they should celebrate being back by dressing up and acting out a holiday from the lore of their video game. Now, I'm not going to completely summarize the plot. That's not really what I do on my channel. If you want to watch it, then I'd suggest you go watch it now, because I'm going to get into some spoiler territory in a minute. Because what I do want to do is point out some of the fantastic choices they made that made this episode so good that I had to just drop everything and talk about it today.
I'm dead. Spent $40 on this costume.
So here are those choices. Number 1, if you could subscribe or hit like on this video, I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And number 2, I'm sorry I just did that. It seems a little manipulative, so I take it back. Number 3, the setups and payoffs. Like I unnecessarily over-explained in my essay on Ted Lasso, which you could find right there, jokes are all about setups and payoffs, or punchlines if you're violent. But what great writing can do is use that formula for dramatic payoffs. The key here, though, is to do it today, Junior, is to do it organically and surprisingly. Audiences can smell that forced payoff stuff a mile away. One way Mythic Quest does this brilliantly is with this simple comedic gag.
My loyal subjects. Our loyal subjects. I will find. Today we will find.
They take this scene and then pay it off later, but in reverse the next time.
After careful consideration, I have decided... We have decided... I decree.
We decree.
Wow, it is really easy to do that. It just feels better to say I.
Human nature.
But then, after the final battle, which we'll talk about in a moment, they pay it off dramatically.
You did it.
We did it.
You realize that the humor of it earlier was masking real relational conflict.
Fireball!
These characters are not yet used to being co-owners, and they don't yet fully appreciate the other person or their working relationship. But after going through this experience, they've learned to trust and appreciate each other and their co-owner team. What started as just a simple funny gag ended up having a touching, character-based emotional payoff. And number 4, the ending. Again, spoilers. There's a classic storytelling technique that Michael from Lessons from the Screenplay calls, whatever you do, don't do that. Ghostbusters has perhaps the greatest WYDDDT in history with don't cross the streams. But the key to a WYDDDT is by the end of the film or show, the characters obviously have to do what they said not to do. Another great example of this is in Back to the Future. Doc rips up the note that Marty writes to him, saying that you can never risk changing the timeline, only to say, what the hell, by the end. This episode of Mythic Quest has a WYDDDT. I am so tired of saying that, I'm sorry I brought it up. One of the co-owners, Poppy, played by Charlotte Nakato, wants to participate in the battle tournament, but Ian tells her that royals don't fight because the king can't win. It doesn't boost morale for the people. But by the end of the episode, when Brad, played by Danny Pudi, threatens the very existence of Everlight going forward in the future, the royals have no choice but to take him down. And when they do, the game is on. Sorry. I absolutely loved how the episode transforms, taking us inside the mind of the players' imaginations. As someone who, plays their fair share of D&D, it was a blast to see this RPG come to life. And Danny Pudi makes an amazing demon. I mean, holy crap. Needless to say, I can't wait to dive into Season 2 of Mythic Quest this week. Hopefully, it will be as good as just this single episode was. And if not, we'll always have Everlight. And if you loved the episode as much as I did, and you want some more fun RPG-based content, you can get 2 free fantasy audiobooks on Audible by clicking the link in the description. And if you're impressed by that ad segue that I just did, you can also check out my Skillshare course on how to segue to ads like the master, fellow YouTuber Patrick H. Willems. Now come on, expand that description. You know you want to see if that Skillshare course is a real thing or not, right? I know you do. It totally is. Or is it? It is. Or is it? It is. Yeah, it's real. It's real. I made it. So, like, subscribe, Patreon, Skillshare, CTA, YouTube stuff. It's boring, but it's part of my life. Bye.